welcome Shannon Wright, who is a local Virginia illustrator and comics creator. She's done a lot of wonderful comics, including Twins, which just came out, but it's also illustrated. Nice.
I just had it like a fish. I'm just like, this is my book.
Also illustrated the fantastic picture book, My Mommy Medicine, and has done a lot of book covers and other stuff. All right, so can you talk a little bit about your creative process?
Yeah, so my creative process for comics making and also my illustration work are kind of the same, except my illustration work, normally it's just for like one piece or a few, and then comics is a little bit to the max.
Yeah.
But I always start with like a script or an outline or a summary of what I'm working on, and just dissect that, because I'm a very like visual person, and I try to pull out like keywords so I can like just get my visuals going. And I take that time to do that. And then after that, I actually have some pages. And then after I like, read over everything, read over a script and whatnot, I like hop into sketches. You can't really see it.
I see a little, yeah.
They kind of look like that. Really rough, just, circle people with dot eyes and whatnot. And that works for me. I just keep it very loose and stuff, because at that stage I'm just trying to get like the bodies and just like the expressions placed and stuff before I just go back in and do the next step, which is cleaned up pencils, depending on the project. Sometimes I just skip that. And then after that I do inks, and I'll do flats, and then I'll do colors and clean it up. And when it gets to coloring, that's like my hardest part of the process, because I'm still learning how to color, and I'm slowly figuring it out, but it still takes me the longest. I think my favorite process is like the sketch phase, because I just get really loose. Everything's really messy and nothing matters. Yeah. See, Holden said the same thing. See?
Yeah. Color is like a whole other skill, but you could have fooled me. It's like all the stuff I've seen. Beautiful.
It takes it's so long. It's like I'll blaze through everything else, and then I get to the coloring, and I'm just like, oh gosh. It's like coloring has to at least take me maybe, what? I'm trying to think of percentages now. Maybe like 50%.
Wow.
I don't know. That's probably wrong.
Is that just how it feels? It just feels that way. That's just how
it feels. Because I'm just like, oh, this color.
Aw. Yeah. I'm just curious, and maybe this is like a sad thing to think about, but just like how much time goes into comics, because like you're just like listing out all these steps that you do.
My.
And I know it's like you treat it kind of full-time jobby, so it's like you're just doing a lot, but it's just I think it's like someone, where did I hide it? Someone who gets the like finished product and gets to like see, it's just like you really, because you don't see all the little steps.
Yeah.
It's like
it's
hard to gauge.
It takes a while, and I think it definitely also just like varies on certain pages and just certain panels and whatnot. Some panels I can draw and color really fast because there's really not much going on, but a scene like, and this is the scene I keep going back to because everyone always asks, the hallway scene with the students.
Oh yeah.
They always ask how long that took, and that took me like a few days because I was taking breaks. I was my initial sketch for that page is so bare bones, which I don't even know how I got from there to this, because I didn't do like clean up pencils. I just went from blob people to inks. Because I don't know, I think I was running out of time, and I was like, I don't have time.
Yeah. feel like you have a lot of crowd scenes.
I know. There's a lot of scenes with a lot of people.
Yeah, I was thinking it's like the small scene. And
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, the people are tiny, but you have all these little people. It's like,
Yeah, that one also took me a while to do. And I actually didn't color that one. I brought on some colors to help. And I did like color corrections at the end just to make sure everything was uniform, because, you know, despite the fact that I was working with 3 people, they're, even with direction, they're still going to color things slightly different and just do their own thing. And I was like, okay, well, I need everything to look like it's the same book. So they're doing the heavy lifting, but I am still going back and editing 200.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of work.
That's cool. Yeah, so in our earlier part of the workshop, we were talking about like writing from our own experiences and drawing from our own experiences. So how much of your art and stories pull from your own life, and where do you get your inspiration?
So a lot of it is from my own life, and I think it's like subconsciously it ends up becoming like coming from my own life and stuff. Even like some of the more fantastical stories that I try to write. I have one called like Rose Fever, where it's like that she's like a warrior girl, and I'm not a warrior person living in whatever fantasy world that is, like fighting monsters. But a lot of my characters, like personalities, are reflections of me.
Yeah.
So she like rocks a lot of braids in that one, and she's just a very just tired like an older adult and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, this is me. This is actually me doing tasks that I'm just like, I need money for. But I'm just gonna switch the names and switch the designs. And it's the same way with oh, thanks, Holden. And same way with like twins and stuff. Like these, I'm not a twin. I'm also not in middle school anymore. But these girls, their personalities and like expressions are very much like me in a lot of cases, and also just like hairstyles. Like this hairstyle kind of looks like the one I'm rocking right now. And you know, some of their how they look, I kind of look like the girls. I think I do. But then I'm looking at their friend groups, and when I was designing them, I took little aspects and like characteristics and features from me to create the friends. So like Nikki has dimples, and I have dimples, so I was like, I'll give her dimples. Tasha wears glasses, and when I normally wear glasses to see. Monique has braces. In high school I had braces. And then just like with personalities like for Amber and Richard and stuff, Amber comes across like as bossy a lot of times, and I've noticed like growing up with my brothers and stuff, I was definitely like the bossy sibling. And so just I put a little bit of myself in kind of like every character, whether it's their personalities or like features and stuff, like you know, their style. So
that's cool.
Thank you.
Well, I feel like this goes with that. You draw such dynamic and lovable characters, even the people we only see in the backgrounds of panels. So you talked about how you've like pulled from yourself. I was like, do people you know, like family and friends, ever make cameos in your art?
So I actually read that question, and funny enough, I wanted to put some friends and family into twins, but I forgot to ask, and then I thought it would be weird.
Oh yeah.
And you know, there was one point where I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I like featured some like middle schoolers in here, but then I was like, okay, I don't want to ask. That's kind of weird too, to be like, hey, I'm putting out a call for kids. Anyone want to be in my book? And I was like, okay, we're not going to do that. So
do you want to be a cartoon character in this comic?
I want to be a cartoon character. And I was just like, okay, Shannon, we can't do this. And And so in this book, I don't have any cameos, but the mom and dad in the book, their personalities are like hugely based on like my parents.
Aw.
The dad acts like my dad, just a goofball, and just he's a very emotional person. And then the mom in the book is very like, you know, she runs the house and whatnot, and that's kind of just how my mom is. And they don't look like my parents directly, but they act a lot like my parents. And so they kind of pulled from it, and just like based on the way Varian wrote it, it kind of they already seemed like my parents, which I was like, we didn't even talk about that. The mom in this book's name is Diane, and that's my mom's name too. And I had never told him my mom's name. And I was like, this is weird, but here we are.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, some of my favorite parts were the parent, like how the family interacted together, and like their older brother and everything too.
So that's another thing. I have an older brother who's my half brother. And so I think I designed Curtis to look a little bit like my older brother. And that was another thing I didn't talk to Varian about. When I got the script, he was just like, okay, well, this is the story. This is the family. They have a older half brother. And I was like, I have an older half brother. My mom's name is Diane. I was like,
are you sure you're not looking into my life?
Yeah, are you sure you're not looking into my life right now? So it was wild.
It was just meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's destiny.
That's great. All right. So you talked about bringing in colorists for this, and that was one of the next things I wanted to ask about, because this project involved so many people, not just, you know, with your co-creator, Varian Johnson, but the colorists, editors, all that. How was it collaborating with so many people?
At times it was very stressful because I was, especially with my flatters, I think I overwhelmed myself, and I couldn't remember who had what pages and stuff. So there was moments where I accidentally, like, some people did the same pages and whatnot, and I was like, oh guys, this one's already done. But I wasn't gonna like not pay them for the work, so I was just like, I'm just gonna bite it. But with that being said, they saved my butt. They like saved my life, because I definitely know I could not have flatted and colored this whole book on my own. And I was attempting to, and I was failing really badly. And then it's like the deadline was approaching, and I was like, when I brought on the colorist, I was like, how do I color 200 pages by myself? and like the time was ticking, and I was just like, okay, so if I do this many pages a day, and I was like, I'm still not gonna be done. And so I brought on like 3 colorists, and they saved my life. I know people work with like less people, but I figured this was also an opportunity to just hire people and pay people and have them on a project and give them that experience. And a lot of the people I brought on and hired came from recommendations from my friend Olive. And a lot of these creators are like Black and brown creators, which doesn't happen often in like just in the industry and stuff. So it's just like, if I have the opportunity to just like bring on, especially like younger artists and just like artists who otherwise like aren't getting hired and stuff, like I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
So I think I had like 10 flatters, which might be like overkill, but I was just like, okay, this just gives everyone an opportunity to like do work and get some experience.
Yeah.
And then it gets done. Yeah, just why not?
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, because I know, I mean, it's been a while since I've dug really deep into the catalog of like all the names of people on books and stuff, but you know, it's like you see a lot of just the same people.
And that's also
getting used over and over, but there's so many people out there.
Yeah, and then also it's just like a wanted to, like, in the back of the book, in the acknowledgments, I acknowledge everyone who helped me, because a lot of times flatters and colorists and letterers and whoever else is working on the book, like in that assembly line, don't get any sort of mentions, which I've always had a problem with, because I've been on that end where I've done projects, like I've came on last minute and I've done projects and I helped flat and all this other stuff, and there was no recognition for the heavy lifting I had to do and some other people had to do. And so I knew what that felt like, and it didn't feel great.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I don't want that to be the case, especially if I can just, it doesn't have to be the case.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. All right. I mean, I have a lot more questions, but I'm only gonna ask a couple more so that we have time to open up the floor. Let's see. Did you have a favorite thing to draw in twins? A very favorite thing?
Interesting. I think my favorite thing to draw was just like all the expressions of the kids. And also the style. I weirdly enough, not even weirdly enough, I like style and I like clothes.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. But I like clothes and I like fashion and stuff like that. And so it was fun to play with like dressing up these characters. I remember growing up, I played a lot of those dress up games just because I just liked dress up games. And so yeah, Holton already has a great question, so we'll wrap it up so Holton can have the floor. But yeah, so I think my favorite thing to draw was just like all the expressions and all the different kids, because I wanted to explore that anyway, because I like drawing people. And I was just like, okay, well, how fun can I get? How like diversified can I get? Like let's have some fun. And I had a lot of fun designing the main characters and also just like the background characters. So
yeah, I think I definitely, how much fun you're having with that comes through. It was just like the tiny, like the simple expressions and stuff. I was just like cackling like all the time. They're great. All right, well, thank you so much. And we're gonna end that here so we can get back.